Welcome to the commentary for Pool Day. So, a little bit of backstory here. This was a once lost 2022 short film shot by myself, Logan Bauer, with Ryan Sams. So, a little bit of backstory on the making of this. This was shot on May 7th of 2022. That was a Saturday. So, it was made and edited that same day and never released until now. So, the idea to do a pool film, like a movie about billiards, was, it's been in the works for a while, and I think we just decided, okay, let's just do something funny with it, which, looking at the other films from around, pre-Calvary at the Courtyard, they're all pretty, just skits, and even like Calvary at the Courtyard is pretty much just a skit, and also the multimedia film ones are all kind of like skits, but we just wanted to do one because we hadn't made a film, we hadn't made anything since like 8 Guys, One Couch in December of 2019 together. We've done like other stuff, I don't know, like blueprint things, I don't know, look at the website, you can figure it out. We just hadn't made anything in years like this, like a iMovie like we used to, so we kind of just like, yeah, let's just do that, and we can do it about pool because, and you can see it in the movie itself, but, we'd play pool in the back room, like, every time we hang out, still do. In the movie, there's a clip where the pool balls kind of fall out of the triangle as he's setting them up, and I think that's what inspired this whole thing, is, like, something like that happening in real life, or, like, oh, what if this happened? So, that's what inspired it, and it got lost just because we didn't finish it. This kind of just ends suddenly, which kind of works for the humor, but it does just kind of end. The original version was found March 7th, 2026, without any music, and so the version uploaded to YouTube is the version with music re-added in. So there was music initially in there, and I put it back in there, as well as I fixed the audio leveling because it was crazy, kind of all over the place. Hard to hear some things, way too loud other points, so I mixed the audio a little better. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. I added credits. The original version, without any music or audio changes, can be watched in the link in the description. There's a no music version, that's what it's called. I hope you enjoy, and I'll point out some stuff as it goes. Okay, so this intro with the white text on screen, that's the first and only time this intro was like ever used for anything, with the old intro, and then it just fades to the text. It was going to be used for other stuff. We just never did. I guess this is like, oh, we'll bring it into the modern era. This might have been actually made first. Like, hey, I made this intro. It's so cool. It's the original just with text on it. Let's make a movie. I kind of doubt that's what happened, but I think maybe subconsciously that's what was fueling me a little bit. You can kind of see I didn't line it up perfectly. It kind of has to fade from the actual intro into the text, and it's not in the same place with both. So that's kind of fun. Okay, I'm not really sure what the point of that mustard joke was. It's just like dumb shit. The rest of the jokes in here kind of make some sense. That was just like, wouldn't this be funny? There's also no other scenes inside. And if I can go back, Cooper would be alive at this point, but he is not in this shot. He's probably behind Ryan, but he's not here. He's not visible. Rest in peace. Okay, so that scene with the pool balls falling out of there, I'm pretty sure that's what inspired it. Something like that happening in real life is almost certainly what was the impetus for making this. Like, oh, this would be funny in a movie. Let's just have a bunch of jokes about pool that we often do. So, like, the next, like, 4 maybe 3 jokes are just like, this happens a lot. What if we reacted in funny ways? Okay, so that was just a punch in to the fade. That wasn't like 2 clips. That was just 1 clip. I would not have recorded 2 clips of the same thing at that. Yeah, no, this was definitely a punch in to fade the other one. I was like, oh, that looks really cool. No, not really. It just, I cheated it, and you can see how blurry it is in the first one. It looks fine. That's a fun technique, but it's not something I would do nowadays. Grout fit, gray shorts, and
the wasp distracted me.
Okay, so that was just a botched shot, which just happens a lot in pool. The wasp distracted me. I'm pretty sure there was like a wasp in this room, in this back room where we play pool, or there was another time. I think we were going to have something to do with the wasp if we continued this. See, there was like a lot of things in this where it's like, what were we going to do later? I think they were supposed to have these jokes kind of come back, but it kind of just doesn't do anything here. And in this next shot, you can see Ryan you can see the tripod behind Ryan. That's awesome. We use the tripod in like 2 shots, like the opening where it's both of us before we go inside and later.
You're trash.
Okay, so that was like the ball jump. So in every game of pool, at least that I participate in, there's always somebody that hits the ball too low and it jumps up, sometimes off the table. I know Carson would always hit it off the table. So this one we just had like a jump and it just went like that. The humor of that is it being off the table. We were probably going to have it do that again later, but we just never got around to it because we only shot so much of this. Not very choreographed. It's kind of hard to miss. It's kind of easy to miss. It should have been a lower angle so you could, see it get off the table a little bit, or like very close, but whatever. It works. Okay, so I think that is supposed to tie into Grayson Dies 1 and 2. And I say it again later. It reminds me of when Grayson got killed, got murdered, whatever. I think we were going to say it a third time and then show him getting killed, either with one of the clips from Grayson Dies 1 or 2, or a new clip of him pretending to be shot. If anything, this kind of reminds me of like the gag in The Breadwinner with the starving orphan, just kind of coming out of nowhere and getting hit, which is, yeah, it's basically exactly that, except this is foreshadowing. The other one does not at all. That's really interesting. Also the tripod. Okay, so you can see it again in this next shot of me missing, which has no audio and it's extremely easy to miss because it just happens so suddenly. Yeah, there's no audio there.
I felt like something was watching me.
Okay, so the tripod, you can see it there. I played that clip too early. I probably should have had like a couple seconds so you can like see the space, and then that he missed, and then he's looking up somebody's watching me. Okay, I like the punch in. That's actually kind of funny, and you can actually see my expression. It looks very silly. Kind of hold on it for a little too long. Probably could have held on both of those a little bit. The first one a little longer, and this one not as long. This is a very funny payoff with the deer, because you don't see it in any other shot. It did a very good job of not showing it until later. It's actually kind of interesting to think, okay, this room's changed a lot because the deer is moved, the old TV is gone, and there's a big flat screen in there now, so it's kind of changed a lot in 4 years. And considering we don't go in there very often anymore, my family, we don't even play pool as much anymore. I'm in college. I don't live here anymore. This is a cool shot. I actually really like that. The first shot is a good shot. And then the pan down, the tilt down, is very well done. Like, that looks very fluid, which, I mean, that's kind of easy to execute on a phone, just especially because it was on the table. But that looked nice. That looked genuinely nice, I think. Okay, and you could hear, even though it faded out, you could hear the ball hit the camera in the first one. I mean, that was just a bad sound effect to use with the cue ball coming towards the 8. That was definitely just golf swing sound effect within iMovie. If I'm already downloading stock music, I can definitely download a stock wind sound effect. Yeah, and if I had better editing software, I could have made that like slow down and then turn the other way, which would have been a lot funnier. Yeah, if I had like Premiere at the time, I could have like had it gradually slow down and then speed up in the other direction. I could have made that work. But you can tell like when these two clips, when one begins, the other starts. I just think, I mean, that's a fun idea, but it kind of does just break the realism a little bit, because the rest of it is just like stuff that could happen or just like dumb stuff. This is like, okay, that's not actually happening.
I always say, good thing this isn't a strip pool. It is.
Okay, so that's fun. I don't really like my delivery there, but or I also don't really like how most of these shots are just one person. I think could have set it up on stuff or used the tripod a little more, to have us both be in the shots. I think it would have made things look a little better. I mean, like the shot setups aren't terrible. The most egregious one I think is next with me and the lights. You can barely even see anything, but I mean, this joke is fine. It's just like, I don't know, I think it would have been funny if the continuity was held, but he was just like shirtless the whole time, the whole rest of the movie. I'm not asking for that, trust. But no, this joke is fine. The joke is also what Karis remembered this movie for, so I guess she had seen it. And we can get into remembering it, but Ryan didn't remember it at all. But Karis was like, just remembered that joke, so I guess she had seen part of it. I don't even know when this was. May 7th. I don't even know what was going on at that point. We can check that and see what was the occasion. So this clip with all the balls in a row, that just doesn't even make sense. And there's a lot of clips where the continuity is off with where the pool ball locations are. It's not the worst thing. I mean, it's a skit essentially, but this is just like, what was the joke? That I shot the ball through all the other ones? I mean, that could have worked if it was like hitting a bunch of like, if I hit a clip essentially, like bouncing all the corners and hitting nothing, like wait, wow, it's kind of crazy, you didn't hit anything. This just doesn't really make sense. And yeah, of course I shot it into the pocket.
This reminds me of one there's another.
I don't dislike that delivery at all. I think that delivery is funny, and like the posture and everything, but gosh, you could not see a single thing behind me because of how bright the lights were. I think we should have looked at that and been like, hey, maybe this isn't the best location to do this. If we're already moving the balls around, I should have just went in a different corner. That would have, looked nicer, and the joke would have landed harder. Okay, and then we just shift to cards. These shots are nice.
All in.
Okay, there's some movement inside. Maybe that was Cooper.
Full house.
I'm done with this game.
See, that's like a fun ending. Just like, I mean, that wasn't the intention, but that is a fun, okay, I'm done with this game, okay, whatever. I mean, the shift to cards is a little weird to end on. I think that was definitely meant to be like a bridge, or just like a small segment in the middle of the rest of it being pool. I mean, if there was another like 2 minutes of pool after that, I think the cards detour would have been fun. It's just like a weird thing to end on, but I'm done with this game and the movie ending. That's fun. It cut to black. That's fun. And then the credits. I added new credits for this. I made them basic. Even then, this is too involved for iMovie standards, but I didn't want to edit it on iMovie. In memory, Grayson Beckham, because we mentioned him twice, and then the restoration, completed date, and then at the time, and I think I kind of do this now, but all the movies end with the L.A.B Productions logo from the beginning being played again at the end. I like doing that. I mean, nowadays it's more just like the logo shows up in the end, not the full intro. I mean, if I did something like, I don't know, like a feature, I'd probably do the full thing at the end again. Maybe I don't know. But now I think just the logo is fine, especially because the new intro is very long. What, like 15 seconds? This one was like 8, maybe. Yeah, with the black screen, it was kind of like 8 seconds. Also, that one was extremely loud before I had to mix the volume. So overall, Pool Day, it's cool that it got found, but that's kind of about it. I mean, I'm glad I found it, and I was glad I was able to edit the audio back in. I was able to find what songs I used, and I remember exactly like how they played, and when, where, and all that. I think it's cool, and it's cool you can kind of see the higher production values that I'd start to start here, because 2016 and 2020, I mean, those are just like videos, and you can call them movies whatever you want. They were kind of just like, yeah, we're just gonna film a bunch of stuff. And then multimedia and film onwards, not only did I kind of get a bigger grasp on, what different shot scales mean and that kind of thing, but I was, just I was getting better at composing more interesting shots and just making things, okay, what's the best way to show this? And you can sort of see that start here with what's the most interesting way to show this angle, which some of them I succeeded, some of them I didn't succeed as much. The humor, I mean, I think it's like humor of the era. I guess, I mean, that was still during like Lab Productions TikTok era, and it kind of feels like that's sort of humor, or the humor that you might see in like the longer form videos I did for that, just about pool this time, and that was before I did those longer form videos. It kind of fits into that sort of umbrella. But I mean, you can see the style get iterated on more in things like Calvary at the Courtyard, Pickup Line Paradox, Breadwinner 1. I mean, this is like very, very, very similar to how those kind of came to be, I guess. But the General Aftermath is, I mean, I forgot about this. Ryan didn't even know existed. I saw him as of the recording. I saw him yesterday, and he had no idea what this was. Karis remembered it. I mean, I remembered it when I saw it, but I'm glad I'm able to, present it, show it off, finally release it. But it did just end. I think our initial plan was, the cut to the cards might have been strategic, where if we did come film a different day, we could just cut after the cards, and it wouldn't be as noticeable, because we had the card segment in between two pool sections, or however many pool sections there would be. I think that could have been intentional, and probably was, and this was definitely not meant to be it. This wasn't meant to be the full thing. Definitely a little bit more going on in the full intended cut, but I think we were just kind of running out of steam at this point, like the jokes with the line of balls. That's not really a joke. It's just like a fun situation, I guess. Overall, I mean, it's cool. It's cool. Nothing I'm dying to follow up on. I mean, I like the idea of a pool film. I really do. I want to do something more interesting with it, more than just like jokes. Definitely more serious with it. You can see that with the billiards lounge script. Obviously, I mean, the pool part is the cool part that I want to show, but I think filming a film about a pool shark would be really cool. To play it seriously, and I'd like to do that at some point. We'll see. Might steal like jokes from this. Plagiarizing yourself, that's okay. But it probably wouldn't be like this in tone or any kind of way. Just the setting would be similar. I think it's a cool location for that. I mean, it looks a little dingy, looks a little old, not unlike like a bar setting where one of these movies might actually be shot. It's a cool piece of history, and I hope I get to iterate on this concept in the future. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell and drop a comment. Drop a comment that says if you want a sequel to Pool Day, or if you want me to hang myself.